The PIX 11 Morning News at 8 starts now.
Live from Studio 2A in PIX Plaza, this is the PIX 11 Morning News with Sukanya Krishnan and Corey Chambers.
Right, 8:10 right now. And kids get more from their parents than just physical traits. I know this. Parents may be passing down their bad habits. Up next, we have a parenting expert who's going to share how to make sure the kids see your best self. All right, well, your kids may have your eyes or your smile, but you unknowingly pass along other traits to them. Yeah, we like to think we're showing our kids our best selves, but Dr. Deborah Gilboa says that's not always the case. Dr. G, family physician and parenting expert, thank you for coming in this morning.
Thanks so much for having me.
But it's so true. I remember my son was like 7 or 8 and I'm driving, waiting at a red light, and all of a sudden I'm about to scream like, move, and my son screams from the back of the seat, move it, lady. I'm like, oh, that was my fault.
It's so hard to hear our words come out of their mouths, and it really
gosh.
surprises us into understanding what's really happening.
No kidding. All right, so let's talk about what they're learning and what we should be teaching them. All right, so start with exercise as punishment. That's one thing you talk about.
Absolutely, because we know that kids whose parents exercise regularly are much more likely to grow up to be adults who exercise, but they gather our views. So if I say, oh, I have to go to the gym, or oh, I need to do this, we're saying it like it's punishment, like it's awful. We can talk about it like I get to exercise, or I'm looking forward to how much better I'll feel after I do this.
Right, I can't wait till, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, because it's going to make you feel better.
And you do afterwards. You're always glad you exercised. It's beforehand, you don't always feel like it.
All right, so here's another one. You talk about gossip and friendship.
This is something that we do a lot. We want our kids to have great relationships with their friends, and we watch when they're little and they're on play dates, or we listen while we're with them going places. They listen to us too. And so if we spend all of our time with our friends complaining about other people or gossiping, and it's always negative talk, that's what they're going to think friendship looks like. That's what they're going to think romantic relationships look like. So they will do as they grow, because they always want to be bigger than they are. They always want to be more grown up. They will imitate us. They really listen more to what we say when we're around them, even than what we say to them.
All right, now what about this? Everybody does this when you say you're having a bad day. I'm having such a bad day, but doesn't justify bad behavior.
We don't want our kids to come in because they've had a really hard day and throw their backpack and yell at their little sibling. It means that when we've had a bad day, we have to say, I had a bad day. I'm going to do my best to relax, because I'm not going to use a bad day to justify behaving really badly.
Okay, and this one, a lot of people get caught up in this, talking about wine. Wine is the answer for whining.
Have you ever seen on social media people post all the time, oh, is it wine 30 yet? Oh, I've earned my glass of wine. We say it too. We come home, oh, I've had such a hard day. I need wine. I don't want my kids to use alcohol as a coping mechanism, and I know you don't either. So we have to pay attention to what we say around them, even though we're not saying, sweetie, would you please get me a glass of wine?
Can you pour one little one for mommy?
Exactly.
But here's the thing. So you're saying some of these things, and people at home are going, wow, you know, I do that, or I do say that. What are some things parents can do to help avoid this?
You know, actually, this is great, because if you realize you've done something you'd like to do a little bit differently, that in itself is a great lesson for kids. So you catch yourself doing it, you notice it out loud, oh, I have to exercise. Oh, you know what? The truth is, I love how I feel after I exercise. I said I had to, like it's a punishment, but it isn't. So you notice it, you own it, and then you change it. Right there with your kids. Kids get do-overs. They give each other do-overs all the time. So this way, they see you taking a do-over and changing your attitude.
But is it too late? Like, is it ever too late?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
so there's still hope.
Because even if you're talking about my teenager, for example, he's critical of me. He's willing to admit easily that I make mistakes. So when I admit it, when I say, you know what, that was a mistake, that's not how I want to be, he absolutely forgives me for that. He gets it, and he really listens, because he's used to me criticizing his behavior a little bit, or judging his behavior. So when I judge mine, he really pays attention, and he values that.
They do. They like to say, see mommy and daddy say, I'm sorry.
Or I messed up.
I messed up.
See,
exactly.
It's not just me.
Yeah. Now, what other trends are you seeing out there?
What I see is that parents really want their kids to behave in the right way, and so they have this opportunity to say, okay, I want you to do this, but kids are always looking for hypocrisy. So if we don't do what we want them to do, they will ignore what we have to say.
Oh my God.
This is our chance to model it. And we don't have to do it 100% of the time, but if we're intentional about it, even 10% of the time, we'll be amazed by the kids we get.
Right. And how do you approach, let's say, for different ages? I mean, how do you say something like this to a toddler versus, you know, a teenager?
You know, preschoolers do do-overs.
Okay.
And so to a preschooler, you can say, oh, I really need a glass of, you know what, do-over. I'd like to spend some time relaxing.
Ah, good one. Okay.
That's it. And for a teenager, say, hey, have you heard me come home and say I could really use a glass of wine? I'm hoping you won't use wine to help your day, so I'm not going to use wine to help my day anymore.
Good tips. Thank you, Dr. G, for coming in. Of course, she has a lot of great tips, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
All right.